Howdy, folks. I got some more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 rants for you today. Some of them are pretty fun, too. Now, if you've been following the game's launch, you know it's been one of the best RPG releases in recent years, but not everyone's happy, of course. In fact, Kingdom Come's Reddit is on fire with some of the most unfiltered, hilarious, and downright savage takes on the game. So, what's really going on? Is KCD2 a masterpiece? Or a mess-terpiece? You all loved part 1, so we're back with even more. And honestly, some of the comments on the last video were just as interesting as the ones on Reddit. So, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go check it out. It's packed with wild reactions and hot takes. But for now, let's dive into even more legit concerns and over-the-top rants about KCD2. Drop a comment if you've got a hot take of your own. Maybe we'll use it in a future video. Let's start with a knight's worst nightmare. Mismatched armor. Something that's driving fashion-conscious knights like user Tiggia absolutely insane. Armor colors. Because I definitely want to have pink boots with yellow chest pieces. They are losing their mind over how mismatched everything looks in KCD2. I will say, though, it was pretty mismatched in the first game, if I remember correctly, as well. It was pretty... Some of those armors were really silly. But anyway, okay.
Like hardly any of the armors match. I'm losing my mind here. After wondering if I was just getting awful luck with traders, I had the audacity to go into Wiki and found no. There's just very few complete sets, and of those complete sets, very few have a complete color scheme. It's genuinely insane.
But another player, surly, points out,
I wish there was some way to customize the metal tint and the leather separately, because I found that a lot of sets look good with the matching leather, but the metal tint will be off, you know.
It's a real problem. Your breastplate might be the right shade of steel, but your gauntlets and helmet? Completely different tint. Whew. And if you were hoping to match your entire set, good luck. Now, KCD2 is all about historical realism, but even Red Dead Redemption 2 managed to get color variants right, as Tiggy pointed out.
I think Red Dead 2 is the only game to handle item color variants well, I say. I'd imagine something was stopping them from doing that, though.
So what's the solution? A dye system? More color variants? What do you think? Should KCD2 add more customization? Or is mismatched armor just part of the experience? The case of the vanishing loadout. Next up, we have something that's so crazy, it's funny. User Lantern _ is absolutely fed up with how Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 keeps messing with their carefully organized gear, okay?
For the love of Christ, stop resetting my inventory loadout! Yeah!
You spend time perfectly setting up your weapons, potions, and armor, ready for whatever comes next, only for the game to randomly unequip and rearrange everything after a cutscene or fast travel. Suddenly you're in a fight, swinging your fists instead of your sword. Or swinging something more delicate. But it gets worse. Some players report their gear vanishes entirely, or gets swapped with junk, forcing them to re-equip everything over and over again. Why does this keep happening? The leading theory is that there are aliens in KCD2 abducting people's armor and weapons. No, it's actually that Henry keeps resetting equipment to match story moments, but in doing so it completely disrupts player loadouts. No matter the reasoning, it's frustrating and players are begging for a fix. Moving on, let's talk about something that's infuriating. Light armor players. Master strikes from the Shadow Realm. Looks like KCD2 does have magic. After all? User JamYam5288 is running a stealthy high-agility build in KCD2, but things go completely off the rails when fighting armored sword users.
Right now I'm using one of my presets for a stealth build, using all of the cut, burst, twitch drops, and a broadsword. Now the problem starts to present itself when I fight another sword user. I came across 3 bandits, one using an axe, one using a mace, and the last using a sword. I dispatched the axe and the mace fairly easily, as they had hardly any armor on, and I moved to the better armored sword user. I understand. I'm at a disadvantage, okay, because he has armor and I don't, so I use dodge. End up behind him, go in for a swing, only for him to master strike me from behind! He pulled a full 180 in 0.001 seconds, and then did my life like some kind of JoJo episode. Bro hit the Adventure Time fall move the Lich King uses. Damn, these magic bandits. And apparently, this isn't even the worst part. Other players are noticing weird, almost supernatural tracking from enemies. Not only are enemies parrying attacks from behind, but they're sliding forward mid-animation to land hits, even when you successfully dodge. What do you think? Is this just part of KCD2's brutal combat system, or do bandits have some hidden Elden Ring boss mechanics? Horse controls, a step forward or a step back. This next topic is splitting the community a little. It's worse than politics. And that is horse controls. User 5head Enjoyer. Nice username. Feels like horseback riding in KCD2 is actually worse than in the first game.
Turning the horse feels horrendous. I'm on PC playing with a controller, and it feels like 50% of the stick is dead zone when I'm on a horseback. And then once the horse actually responds to input, you change direction way faster than intended. There's no finesse, and I find myself constantly having to oversteer to correct the direction of the horse. That, and the follow road system is janky as hell. The horse will occasionally snap 90 degrees and lock onto another road. LMAO. Anybody else experience this, or am I the only one? I looked through the game settings to look for anything horse-related and couldn't find anything, hoping WH ends up changing this.
Now, I don't know about this one. Personally, horse controls feel improved, but they're definitely still janky. The new movement system feels more fluid in open areas, but tight turns and the follow road mechanic, that can get pretty weird. And based on other players' experiences, this might be more of a controller issue too. Some players prefer the new system, arguing that horses feel more natural overall, but it's clear there's room for improvement. Up next, we have our little buddy Mutt, making combat a little more chaotic. Now with this though, I will say he was irritating as crap at certain points in the first game. Mutt, the best boy, and the worst combat partner. User, wow Harry, 1, loves having Mutt around but can't help feeling frustrated when he starts interfering in fights.
Sometimes it is kind of frustrating to keep Mutt around. Not because of constant barking, blocking my path, nor making stealth harder, but because he blocks my attacks intended for enemies. Poor thing, he even got shot at least 3 times. Not by gun nor crossbow, as I'm impatient to load those.
Yeah, this is rough, especially when you're shooting your own dog. You're in the middle of a fight, you go for a clean strike, and Mutt just decides to walk in front of the blade. Not only does he block attacks, but if enemies target him, you might accidentally hit him trying to save him, and then he'll run off doing the... Still, Mutt is a great companion, and despite his questionable battlefield awareness, he's a loyal good boy. And anyone with a dog knows that dogs walking in front of you is 100% accurate. But maybe Warhorse could tweak his AI a little so he's not so realistic. At the end of the day, KCD2 is an incredible game, but like any ambitious RPG, it's not without its quirks.
But let's be clear, this is all in good faith.
The game has a ton of potential, and the community's feedback isn't just complaining, it's about highlighting things that could make KCD2 even better with future updates. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. We've got more KCD2 content coming the way. And if you like these commentary videos, help us out with some ideas. What else should we comment on?